Hey guys, welcome back to Snes Life. Hope everyone is doing well. So here I am, new video, and yes, it has been around about 2 months since my last one, so I do apologise for not making any videos, but you know, I've got to the point now where I just want to make videos when I feel the need to make videos. So yeah, the last video I made was the Nintendo Switch video, wasn't it? Great video, I enjoyed making it, and you know, the reveal was really cool. But I've got to be quite honest, since I made that video in May when I talked about leaving retro collecting behind, and I subsequently sold all of my consoles, retro consoles and games, only the retro games. Yeah, I was just kind of, even though I made videos after that leading up to the one 2 months ago for the Nintendo Switch, my heart really wasn't into it, and I felt as though I needed to just take a break from YouTube and making videos. You know, I continue to watch people obviously and watch the stuff I always watch, but even that got to a point I wasn't watching as much retro gaming on YouTube as I should have been, or at least I felt like I used to. I just kind of, when I stopped collecting, it felt like I wasn't part of the community as much anymore. You know, because I wasn't obviously regularly buying games, talking about games. But I just thought, you know what, the best thing to do is just take some time out, put YouTube to one side for a couple of months, and then come back when you're ready. And I wasn't going to make a new video this year. I was going to wait until next year and start afresh. You know, I've been doing YouTube for 7 years now. It's a long time to be making videos. And I think, you know, like a lot of people, you know, people I'm subscribed to, I've watched over the years, people just take breaks now and again. Sometimes you just need to be able to do that, to just not, to realise that you can just say, okay, yeah, I have a subscriber base, and yes, people like what I do, but they will also understand if I need to just take time out. This is not a profession. This is something I do as a hobby and for a bit of fun. So, you know, which is the way I've always treated it. So yeah, I think it's done me good to just take some time out. So I thought I'd come back. Alex, BlueTonic78 has been on at me lately the last couple of weeks saying, come on Pete, make a video, you'll feel better when you do it. Gets you back in the routine, which is true, it does. Once you do one video, you feel spurred on to make more videos. But I prefer to make videos when I really feel like I want to make one. I was kind of spurred on last night because Simon UK made a new video, and he hasn't made a video for 2 years, and I was like really chuffed. I just finished watching the Boss 77's latest video, and then I saw Simon popped his video in my box. I was like, oh no way, because it's been so long, as I say, 2 years since Simon made a video. So that kind of gave me a bit of a push as well. And then this morning I've just come home and I thought, I've been out for a walk and I come home and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and make a video. So this is what you're going to get. It might be a lot of rambling and waffling and who knows what, and it might go on for a while, but I'm just going to talk. So there you go. That's, you know what I do now, you've seen me enough over the years. So yeah, so that's why I haven't been on YouTube. I just needed to take time out and just have time to myself and do what I want to do. But I am going to come back in 2017, hopefully more regular. I wouldn't say regular or semi-regular. I'm not going to say like I'm going to commit to a weekly basis or anything like that. It will just be when I feel the need to make a video, I'll make a video and talk about things. So it is obviously more difficult as well not having the retro side to talk about, because that's primarily what this channel was built on. But I'll talk about that more later in the video anyway. So yeah, what I'll talk about next is what I've been doing in those last 2 months. I was going to say 12 then. The last 2 months I've been away. So yeah, I really just usual kind of things. I've been watching a lot of American TV. I've been to the cinema, saw some films. I've seen so many films at the cinema this year, more than I've seen in years. I mean, there's been a long period of time where I haven't been to the movies because it's expensive, and also because I've just lost interest. For a long time, I wasn't really watching films up until a couple of years ago as a regular thing. You know, I'd watch them whenever I'd just catch one on the TV or something. Whereas back in the day, I used to buy them on DVD all the time, and they'd come out when that was a relevant format, and then of course Blu-ray afterwards. But yeah, for a long time I never went to the cinema, mainly because I was doing YouTube, I was into the retro gaming thing, and that took over my life, and so a lot of other things got shoved to one side, you know. And yeah, it's been really good this year. I've seen 9 films, and I'm going to see my 10th one tomorrow, which is just incredible. I'm going to see Star Wars Rogue One tomorrow. Cannot wait for that. I was getting great praise so far, so excited. I take it with a pinch of salt what reviewers say, because you know I don't always agree with what they say about the films. You know, Batman v Superman being a prime example where everyone slaughtered it, and I will stand by that film until I die. It's one of the best films I've ever seen. I love it. I've watched it 4 times so far, and it just gets better and better every time, and it's just incredible. So yeah, I watched a lot of TV, I watched a lot of film. I haven't played many games, to be honest with you. I played 1 game, which I'll talk about in a bit. The reason being I haven't bought any more games is just purely because Christmas is next week. Kind of hoping Santa might bring me a game or 2. So there's obviously Watch Dogs 2, Gears of War 4, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I want to play, but I can't buy them just in case Santa brings me one of those games, so I don't want to take the risk. So if not, I'll just buy them next year at some point. Yeah. Other than that, I've just been, just taking it easy, just relaxing and not getting stressed out, and just trying to find ways to just make myself calmer. So what I want to do first of all, I want to talk about some of the TV I've been watching, because you actually know I watch a lot of American TV shows, and there's been a few great new shows that have started over the last few months, but there's two in particular I really want to talk about, and recommendations really in case you guys haven't seen them. And the first one's called Secrets and Lies, and it's the second season this year. First season was last year, I believe, which starred Ryan Felipe, and that revolved around the story of Ryan Felipe playing a dad who goes out for a jog in the first episode and finds a dead kid in the forest. And then the whole story is about, did he kill the kid? Did somebody else kill the kid? Why was the kid killed? And of course it's called Secrets and Lies, so a lot of secrets and lies come to the surface from the characters in the programme. So it'd be like his family, they'll find out things about each other they didn't know, people in the neighbourhood are not who you quite think they are. It was a fantastic show, it was really gripping. And when they announced the second season, they're going to use a completely entirely new cast and a new storyline, I thought, I'll give it a shot because I really enjoyed the first season, so we'll see where it goes. The only character they carried over was the detective that was in the first season, played by Juliette Lewis, who's absolutely amazing in this show, she's brilliant. But the second season, I would highly recommend watching both if you can, but if not, just watch this latest one, the second season. It stars Michael Ealy, who you will probably know from various TV shows. I first became aware of him in a TV show called Sleeper Cell a couple of years ago, which I think was on HBO, where he played an undercover FBI agent who was going undercover in an Islamic sleeper cell. Really, really great show. And more recently, he was in The Following as well as a psychopath, and he's just an incredible actor. It also stars Terry O'Quinn as his dad. Terry O'Quinn, you're most famous to most people as playing John Locke in Lost. He used to also be in the show Millennium, if you remember that from around the X-Files time. He's been in many different shows over the years. He's a fantastic actor. And the show, I won't give any spoilers or ruin it for you obviously, but in the first episode it begins, you have Michael Ealy's character, as I say, Terry O'Quinn's his father. Michael Ealy also has a brother and a sister, and they all run a family business. And at the beginning of the show, Michael Ealy's wife is found dead on the pavement outside of the family business office when they're having a party. So then, of course, it's a question of, well, did she jump? Was she pushed? If she was pushed, did Michael Ealy's character do it, or did somebody else do it? What was the reason for doing it? And it's all about the investigation. And as I say, like the first season, all of the secrets come to the surface, and you find out every week you get so much information. There's so much coming out about each of the characters involved. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so well acted and so well written. And as I say, Juliette Lewis is just an incredible actress. The way she plays that detective, she's just dogged. She will not stop. And Michael Ealy is just superb. Really, really great show. I highly recommend checking out Secrets and Lies, guys. It's one of my favourite shows of this year. And the second show I want to talk about is Timeless. And this comes from, it's co-created by Eric Kripke, who you might know from Supernatural. He created Supernatural as far as I'm aware, and was the architect of the first 5 seasons, which are the best seasons of Supernatural in my opinion. And yeah, it's a really cool time travel show. It's basically, they have a guy who steals one of the time machines and goes back. I believe the first episode is to do with the Hindenburg disaster. He goes back to change something in history. I'm going to be very cryptic because I don't want to ruin any of the story for you. And what they do, they take a female historian, a male soldier, and they take a black techie guy who works on the time machine because he can fly the machine for them. The reason I mention that he's black is because when they go back in time, obviously in America, no matter they make it quite clear that no matter which time zone they go back to, it's never going to be an easy time for him because of America's history. And there's a lot. It's a very light-hearted entertainment show. They have a lot of fun with time travel, and they'll take the piss out of things that for years now when you watch time travel movies that never really make a lot of sense, and they just joke about it. I find it really quite funny. It's a brilliantly made show. They've done some fantastic episodes. They just did 2 episodes where they had Bonnie and Clyde and they had Benedict Arnold. It's a real good mixture, and it's just really light, fun entertainment, and I'd highly recommend giving Timeless a try. It's a great show. So yeah, there's 2 TV shows I really wanted to talk about because they're absolutely fantastic. I've seen 2 movies since I was last on YouTube. One was Doctor Strange, which was the latest Marvel movie. Love that. I mean, I do really enjoy the Marvel movies. I'm more of a DC guy, but I do prefer the Marvel movies. I do enjoy the Marvel movies a lot. I've enjoyed all of them bar 4, 1 and 2. I just can't get into 4 at all. And Doctor Strange, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like because I don't know anything about the character, and I thought, oh, I don't know if I really want to go and see it at the cinema, or should I just wait and buy it on Blu-ray? And I thought, close to the day it's coming out, I thought, I've sold it, I'll just go and watch it and see what you think. And I actually really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Benedict Cumberbatch, Suicide I thought absolutely incredible. Really, just a really fun, entertaining movie, and not as light-hearted as the rest of the Marvel movies, which for me personally I prefer. It has a bit of a darker tone, but it's just sort of a balance between the two, really. It was just excellent, and the effects are fantastic. I did feel that sometimes in the film, because it's so fantastical, that the visual effects didn't register to me as real. I was clearly just looking at them on a soundstage, but they still look really good. I mean, for me, the best effect was right at the end of the film when they reversed time, and that just looked absolutely stunning. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters and the story, and I found Doctor Strange quite compelling to watch. So I'm going to get that on Blu-ray definitely when that comes out. The other film I saw was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And now, when Harry Potter was a big thing, I watched the first 4, so like Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. And I was pretty convinced that I'd watched Order of the Phoenix and The Half-Blood Prince and the first half of Deathly Hallows Part 1. And I'd gotten sick and tired of watching them at that point. I wasn't really feeling it, and I'd given up watching the rest of the film. Turns out, no, I hadn't, because I decided to go back and watch all 8 Harry Potter films before I went to see Fantastic Beasts, because I wanted to see Fantastic Beasts, but then I thought, I don't know if I really do, and I was like a bit conflicted about going to see it at the cinema, and the reviews were sort of mixed as well, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to go and see this. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to watch the 8 Harry Potter films. So I watched them over a week, and I absolutely loved them, more than I did back then. And it turns out I'd only ever watched the first 4, so when I got to the end of Goblet of Fire, I thought, oh, actually, this is where I got to, the battle in the maze. And I thought, oh, okay. So that was really cool. So I got to watch Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows 1 and 2 completely fresh. And they were absolutely brilliant. I love those films. For me, Chamber of Secrets and Philosopher's Stone are very good, but they're very kiddified. All the rest of the films are quite dark and adult-toned, and I prefer those. But the first 2 are really great, fun Christmas movies, whereas the others are a lot more adult and absolutely brilliantly executed. I can't remember, is it David Yates, the director? I think that's right. He's the guy that did please don't quote me on this. I think he did Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince and the 2 Deathly Hallows, and he also directed Fantastic Beasts, who's got a good knowledge of the universe. And I watched all 8 of them, went to see Fantastic Beasts about a day after I finished watching Deathly Hallows 2. And I really liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was a great film. I like Newt, great character. I really like the visual effects with the creatures, it's fantastic. Especially when they go inside the briefcase, that was just absolutely stunning. And it was a really fun film. The reveal at the end of the film, I'd worked out about halfway through the film, which was unusual for me, because normally something like that I wouldn't have worked out. But I was watching the film and I just thought, yeah, I know what's coming here, and I was right. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, that's cool. I'm looking forward to see what happens with that. It was just a really great film. It's great to see a different side of the Wizarding World as well in New York this time, and a new character with Newt Scamander. It was really fun. I didn't like it as much as I did the 8 Harry Potter films, I'll be honest. I thought they were better. But JK has said they're planning on making 5 of these films, so it is really laying the groundwork, introducing you to new characters, introducing you to New York and their way of looking at the magical world. And so obviously we get the reveal at the end of the film as well, which I won't spoil for anyone who hasn't seen it. And that will then lead on to the next one, and we'll see where it goes from there. Because obviously, when you first watched Philosopher's Stone, I think maybe I would have thought at the time, yeah, it was alright, it's a good film, but I wouldn't have been mega excited, because obviously, there's so much more to come. So we'll wait and see, but I did enjoy Fantastic Beasts. I thought it was really fun. So that's the main things I've been doing, guys. Just my usual, really, just entertaining myself and just passing time. So what we'll talk about now is my plans for 2017. Obviously it's Christmas next week, so Merry Christmas everybody. Hope you're all ready to go and you're looking forward to it and excited, because I know I am. I absolutely love Christmas. Got my tree up, got all the presents sorted out now, everything's ready, I'm all organised. But 2017. Well, as I say, I made that video in May. At that point, I was completely burnt out. You know my history. If you've watched me for a while, you know where I stand with the retro collecting and what I did. And you don't know the full story, obviously you only know what I've shown you on camera. But I did screw myself financially quite a lot, and that's why I had to walk away in the end. I was just like, you know, I said in that particular video that I got into that mentality of, you know, buying a load of stuff, making myself financially crippled, and then just thinking, shit, what am I going to do? Okay, I'll sell a load of stuff, get a load of money in the bank, and then I'll just probably buy one console or maybe a couple of games. But of course, as soon as I start spending the money, that's it then. It's just like water through my hand, it's gone, and you know, and I end up back in the same position again, which is why I stopped doing it, because it was just getting insane. And I haven't really thought about the retro thing since May. As I say, I hardly watched any retro videos really. I watched the occasional ones like my good friends like Daz, Conis, Deloro, Dave, Retro Dave Nintendo, Rob, Champion 2D Rob, you know, all the usual guys, you know, Jay, Cybersnake 7. But I wasn't watching as much as I used to, and I lost a lot of interest in the retro gaming because it's not around me. I think if you haven't got it there to play, then you automatically start, you know, forgetting why you love doing that hobby. And then it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago when I saw a video from Daz Cajones Deloro, and he put up his latest Meet the Tuber video, and he went to meet Nintendo Arcade Alex. Really nice guy. I really enjoyed that video because it was the video that really sparked the retro feel again for me, because I was watching that video and listening to Alex's passion and the way he talked about video games and his love for retro games and arcade machines and his Nintendo collecting. It really just inspired me, and it reignited that flame that I used to have for playing retro games and buying them. And you know, when he was talking about how you should collect and just saying, you know, just do what you want to do, just do whatever makes you happy. If you want to be a cart collector, be a cart collector. If you want to be a box collector, be a box collector. If you want to buy sealed, buy sealed. Do whatever it is that makes you happy. And I thought, you know, that's probably right, because it's quite easy, especially when you make YouTube videos, to be influenced by everybody else that makes videos and everybody you talk to in the comments that don't make videos, and to get into that mindset of sort of buying to please others when you really, even though you don't think you're doing it, you probably are. I know I have done. And so instead of doing that, I just wanted to be where I want to be. And it just got me inspired, and I started watching a few more YouTube videos. I started getting back into watching the retro videos more regularly. I watched a couple of videos from people I've never seen before. With a really great, there's one guy, I can't remember his name was now, but he gets a decent amount of views, so he must be a pretty reasonable channel. He did a great documentary about the Atari Jaguar, which has always been a console that I personally like a lot. And that was fascinating to watch. That was really interesting, really well edited and put together. I also watched his Mega Drive one, which was fantastic. And I started really getting back into the way I used to be, and the love I had for retro. And for, like, you know, for me, it's not retro, like all of us older people. These are just systems that we grew up with. And you know, a lot of thought went into it, and I thought, am I ever going to get back into it? I mean, you know, a couple of people, Craig is here again, Stu Ninja Bear, my foot's gone to sleep. Oh God, that hurts. Oh shit, that's painful. Oh, why does that always have to happen? Yeah, Stu and Craig said to me, you know, at the time, once a collector, always a collector. You can't really just turn it off. It's just there in your mind, and it's true, it is. And you know, for the last 6 months, I've done really well to not even really consider getting into it. But after watching Alex on Daz's, oh, my foot hurts like hell. It's really painful. On Daz's video, Meet the Tuber video, I started thinking about whether I'd get back into it again. Now, of course, the Super Nintendo is my system of choice. If anything, that's going to be one I want. And so that's a given. So I really thought about it, and I talked to a lot of people, and I talked to Alex Blue Tonic. You know, we talk all the time, and we're always going back and forth about what each of us wants to do retro. If we want, you know, because Alex is always trying to define what he wants to collect for, which I think he's got to the point now. He knows exactly what he wants to do. And we were talking last Saturday on Twitter, and he was asking me questions and saying, look, you know, let's try and define what you actually want to do. He broke it down to two systems. And when I thought about it, I thought he's absolutely right. That is essentially the two systems that mean the most to me, that when I was growing up I had the most fun with, and therefore make the most sense to collect for or to buy games for. I don't really want to say collect because I don't want to do that. So I think in 2017 I'm going to buy two consoles. One, you know, is the Super Nintendo. You don't know which version of the Super Nintendo, obviously. We'll wait and see. I'm not going to reveal that. I'll just, you know, see what happens. And then there's the other console, which I won't mention because I don't know what's going to happen yet. And if I do buy that, which I probably will, you'll see that. So that'll it gives me a reason to make videos as well, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm gonna buy two consoles next year. No rush, just buy them when I can afford them. You know, number one priority next year is to get a job and sort my life out, because you know, I've had a tough couple of years. You know, I'm not looking for sympathy in any way, but I have. if you watch me for a while, you know I've been dealing with depression and anxiety and all that crap, and that kind of stuff really screws you up. So, you know, that's another reason that fueled the retro thing as well. It all compiled at one time and just, yeah, it went pear-shaped. So I want to just, when I've got the money and I can afford to do it, I will buy the 2 consoles I want, and then I'll just buy games now and again and just play them and enjoy them. And I'll only buy games that I actually want to play and own and that I know I like, instead of just buying lots of crap for no reason and having shelves full of stuff I'm not interested in. I do not want to get into the same situation as before where I've got multiple consoles and all that. I'm just going to stick with those 2. Because there are about 4 systems I'd really like to own, but I know that what will happen if I do that, so I'm going to limit myself to just those 2 systems. So yeah, in 2017, guys, that's the plan. Hopefully you'll like that and you'll see videos. I'm not sure what I'm going to do video-wise yet, because especially with the Super Nintendo, the other systems are alright because I can do videos for that. Super Nintendo, I've already kind of done that, haven't I? You know, the pick up, show you what I've got, do a gameplay. It'd just be repeating the same thing. I don't know if that's of any interest to you guys. Let me know what you want to see. That's the main thing. You know, if there's any type of videos that you want to see that I've done in the past that you liked, that you want to see resurrected, let me know in the comments below. If there's any videos I've never done and you think I could make it kind of interesting, let me know as well. And you know, I'm always open to ideas. So, you know, because I find it difficult to come up with things these days, so I'm just doing the best I can. But yeah, so that's it really. You know, I'm sort of back. I probably make one more video this year, I think. That'll be Christmas time, in like next weekend is Christmas, isn't it? Week Sunday. So yeah, if I get any gifts that are worth showing, you know, not worth showing, but you know what I mean, if it's something that's relevant to show you, then, you know, if we get any games, music, films, etc., I will of course do my usual annual video and show you what I got, because I love seeing what you guys get for Christmas, and also please post your videos over Christmas because I really enjoy those. It's always fun to share. And the last thing I want to say, really, I would really like it if there's some way we can get this community back up and running, because I feel like the community is kind of fractured at the moment. A lot of people are unsubscribed, don't post videos very often or even at all anymore. So it seems to be very quiet. It'd just be really nice if we could all get back to regular video making. I know it's difficult with life and everything, but yeah, it'd be really cool. I just missed the I've seen people say it recently anyway, that things like tag videos and basic videos like that really bring the community together, because YouTube is pushing away at our style of video making. They're pushing more towards the big YouTubers and the people that act like TV channels. They want it to be more like that. They don't want it to be as it essentially was when it started YouTube. You know, it's just people talking to cameras, which is a real shame. It just feels as though we're all being pushed aside, but you know, we just keep fighting on. So, you know, fight the power. Yeah. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's kind of made some sense, and you know, I'd recommend checking out Secrets and Lies and Timeless, 2 great shows. And you know, if you haven't seen Doctor Strange, they're fantastic beasts, give them a go and all. I want to know what I haven't done. I was going to talk about that game, wasn't I? That's what I knew. I'd forgotten something. Yeah, the one game I played was Mafia 3. I don't think I've spoken about this in the videos before. I finally finished it about a month or so ago. Yeah, I really enjoyed Mafia 3. It's a bloody long game, and you definitely get your money's worth. The only thing is, I would say, is that obviously it's very repetitive in the missions. Essentially, it's the same thing all the time. You kill a load of henchmen, you kill the boss, you kill a load of henchmen, you kill the boss, and work you out the chain to the top. It's very repetitive, but it never for me got boring at all, which is weird, because it must be about a 20-hour game at least, and I never got once did I get bored, never once did I get bored of doing that same thing over and over again. It's strange. I think it's just because the gunplay is so well executed and so much fun to do. I've really enjoyed the gun sound effects are excellent. The combat is really fun and fluid. Yeah, it's a really good game. I mean, the story itself, Lincoln Clay's a great character, and it's all well written, very well acted and scripted, and the character models look fantastic. It didn't, for me personally, grab me. I wasn't that bothered about the story. I was more interested in getting back to the gameplay and killing people, to be quite honest with you. Although I think about games, and from last generation to this generation, there are literally a handful of games that have had storylines that have really got me emotionally involved, which really are the Uncharted games, The Last of Us, Heavy Rain, and Medal of Honor Warfighter are the only games that come to mind that have really had me completely emotionally invested in the characters and the storylines. They're absolutely incredible games. And yeah, other than that, I haven't really found a game that's done that for me. It's a shame. I mean, Naughty Dog, you can't go wrong. They always just absolutely knock it out of the park, and so did Quantic Dream for that matter. But yeah, I thought the story was good. It was well crafted, as I say. The characters are decent enough. It's nothing, Oscar winning, but Oscar worthy. But I enjoyed it. Yeah, the only other thing I will say about the game is there's two things that I wasn't. Well, one thing I didn't like about it was the fact that you have to drive everywhere. There's no fast track mode. You just have to drive, and you can be driving for like a solid 5 minutes, which I know is not a long time. But when you're playing a video game and you're driving for 5 minutes, it seems like forever as you're driving across the map to get to a mission. And especially with this game, where sometimes missions, like side missions, will appear on the map. You mark the map. You have to drive for like 5-10 minutes to get there, and then you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to have done something else first, which then triggers that side mission. And so when you get there, the characters aren't there, the enemies, and there's just nothing to do, so you have to drive back into the city again. And that's a pain in the arse. That really done my head in. The other thing that was weird was I was playing the game at one point, and you have to steal cars for the Irish. And there's one car mission where it's in a police compound, and when you get there, there's iron gates and there's a little cabin. And I was hiding under the window of the cabin, and there's a copper inside the cabin. And I got my silence pistol. I wait till he looks away, jump up, shoot him in the head. And he went flying backwards in this animation, slid down the wall, and lay there dead with blood on the wall. And it was the first time I played the game, and I was, apart from Modern Warfare 2 with the no Russian, but I never actually shot anyone because I was so disgusted by that. But in this instance, it was the first time I actually had a physical reaction to it. I felt like, I don't know if I can continue to play violent video games, because the animation was so realistic the way that he felt. And I know it's only computer code, but it had an effect on me. It made me think, Jesus, what the hell am I playing here? It's the first time ever. Normally I just shoot people left, right and centre. It doesn't bother me, it's just a game. I don't think about it because they're only going to get back up if you die and have to redo the checkpoint anyway. But it just, I don't know, it's just something that hit me. I was like, shit man, that's a bit too realistic. It was really quite disturbing. So I left the game for a few days, and I eventually came back to the game and I was fine, but that was a weird moment. I've not had it on any other game, it was just bizarre. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed Mafia 3, so if you haven't played Mafia 3, definitely give it a shot. It's probably come down in price considerably now. There's some really, really fun missions, and the gunplay is always great. I started off out to running guns blazing like I do, and I just got shot to shit, and then I had to do a load of stealth because I just wasn't getting anywhere. Eventually I grew a bit more confident and worked out how the game was working, and I was able to get from cover to cover and just shoot people a lot more frequently. I like little things like when you're just driving through the neighbourhood and on the map little red dots will pop up, which means that there's gangsters inside the buildings. I just pull up, kick the door in and shoot them in the face. It was just brilliant. It's really fun. But yeah, great game. Anyway guys, so that's that. So yeah, I'll be back hopefully at the end of the next week, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about a week and a half, wasn't it? Roughly. So hopefully I'll get some Christmas presents and be able to show you what Santa's got me. And then after that, 2017 is a completely clean state, and we'll just see what happens and where it goes from there. So anyway, I look forward to your comments down below, guys. Thank you very much for sticking with me over this time, and I appreciate all of my subscribers, and thank you to all new subscribers, because I've been off for a while. I didn't think anybody would subscribe, so thank you guys. And yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video.